Hey everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If you're into coins, history, or just love discovering hidden treasures, then you're in for a treat today. We're diving into a specific coin that could change the way you look at your spare change forever. Today, we're talking about the 1 cent 1984 US coin, a coin that holds way more value than you might think. We're going to break down its history, its rarity, and why it could be worth big money. So, let's get into it. Rare coins, alright, let's start with the basics. In 1984, the US Mint produced billions of pennies, but among them, one 1984 coin holds special significance. Now, the face value of this coin, like all pennies, is just 1 cent. But what makes this coin particularly interesting is how certain conditions, such as its mint mark, condition, and even subtle errors, can give it a much higher value than you'd expect. Now, don't get me wrong, the 1984 penny isn't some rare mythical treasure you'll find under every rock, but it's definitely a coin that could surprise you. There are millions of these pennies out there, but there are certain features that make some of them stand out more than others. Let's take a step back in time. The year 1984 was an exciting year for the US Mint. They produced the usual coins for circulation, including the 1 cent, but the real story starts when we look closely at the D mint mark, which indicates it was minted in Denver. By the mid-80s, the US was in the midst of economic recovery following the early 80s recession. And while the country was focused on the economy, the mint was busy producing coins that would be passed down through generations. But here's the thing, the 1984 penny is not just any ordinary penny. Over time, coin collectors and enthusiasts started noticing something. Certain pennies from 1984 seemed to stand out from the rest. This particular year's penny was not necessarily unique in its design, but it became notable in the decades that followed as the coin world began recognizing certain characteristics that made these pennies more desirable than others. So, why exactly do some of these 1984 pennies seem to hold more value? Now, let's talk rarity. Although millions of these coins were minted, not all 1984 pennies are created equal. Over the years, a number of these pennies have been found with rare characteristics, like die cracks or off-center strikes. Some coins were even struck on incorrect planches, which could dramatically increase their value. These subtle errors are key to their worth. And, believe it or not, a penny with an error can be worth thousands of dollars. That's right, some 1984 pennies, especially those with the most unique errors, have fetched big money in auctions. But even without errors, they are still worth more than face value depending on their condition. One of the interesting things about these coins is that, for years, many people didn't realize how much rare pennies could be worth. It's easy to think of a penny as a penny, but when you start looking for these rare coins with unique features, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Like any collectible, condition is king in the world of coins. So if you've got a 1984 penny that's shiny, with sharp details and minimal wear, you might be sitting on a hidden gem. A coin in mint state can fetch anywhere from $5 to $20 or more. But if you find one with a perfect grade, it could be worth even more. Coins graded MS 65 or higher are highly sought after by collectors, and their value skyrockets. You see, grading plays a major role in determining the value of a coin. When a coin is rated by professionals, they assess the overall quality of the coin, how crisp the features are, how well it's preserved, and how little wear it has. For example, a coin that has only been in circulation for a short time might still have a brilliant shine, making it a much more desirable piece. On the other hand, if the coin has been in circulation for years, it might show wear and tear, diminishing its value. Now, if you happen to have a 1984 penny in mint condition, and it's graded highly by a professional grading service, then you could be looking at something that's worth more than you ever imagined. Now, here's the exciting part, the errors. Some of the most valuable 1984 pennies have rare mistakes that make them incredibly valuable. Let's take a look at some of the most famous errors you should be on the lookout for. First up, the double die reverse. This happens when the coin is struck multiple times by the die, leaving a doubled image on the coin. It's very subtle but very valuable. The doubled features are noticeable on the reverse of the coin, on the words or designs, and make for an extremely rare find. It's one of those little quirks in the minting process that can make a huge difference in the value of your penny. Next, the off-center strike. If the penny was misaligned during the minting process, you might end up with a coin that's got part of the design missing on one side. This creates a one-of-a-kind appearance, and these errors can go for a pretty penny. It's all about the uniqueness of the coin. If it looks different from the others, it's likely to attract the attention of collectors. Finally, the planchette error. This is when the coin is struck on a metal piece that wasn't meant to be used for pennies, creating a unique look. For instance, a penny might be struck on a planchette intended for another denomination, like a dime. This is a rare occurrence, but when it happens, these coins can be extremely valuable. So, just how much is the 1984 D penny worth? Well, it depends on the condition and any potential errors it may have. A standard 1984 D penny, in circulated condition, might only be worth around a few cents over face value. But if you've got one of these rarer error pennies in uncirculated or near-mint condition, they can sell for hundreds to thousands of dollars at auction. To put it into perspective, an MS-65 graded 1984 D penny could be worth around $67, as of recent auction prices. Now, for those of you who are wondering, that's not pocket change. That's a pretty solid return on a coin that many people would overlook in their change jar. Can you imagine finding a single coin worth that much just because of its condition or a small error? It's a game changer for collectors. So how can you tell if your 1984 D penny is worth more than 1 cent? First, grab your magnifying glass and look closely at the coin. Start by checking for errors, like double die or off-center strikes. Then, inspect the coin for wear and tear. The better the condition, the more valuable it might be. And don't forget, get your coin graded. A professional grading service can tell you exactly how much it's worth based on its condition. And one thing I can't stress enough, take your time when going through your collection. Sometimes, the smallest details make all the difference. It's easy to overlook minor errors, especially with something as small as a penny, but trust me, those tiny quirks can significantly increase the value. If you're serious about finding valuable coins, it's worth investing in some good magnification tools to get a better look. So, the next time you're going through your pocket change, remember to check those pennies, especially the 1984 D. It could be worth way more than you think. Whether it's a rare error or a perfectly preserved coin, it could make you big money. Keep your eyes peeled for those special coins, and you might just have a small fortune in your hands. It's a lot of fun to discover the hidden gems in your own collection. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more exciting coin discoveries. And if you've ever found a valuable coin, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, happy hunting, and keep on collecting. Next, 1996 D USA 1 cent coins. Today, we've got something extraordinary for you. We're talking about one of the most fascinating, valuable, and misunderstood coins in US history. And no, it's not some shiny gold nugget, it's a penny, yes, a 1996 1 cent coin. Now, when you think of pennies, you probably don't imagine them being worth anything more than 1 cent, right? But hold on to your seats, because this penny? It could be worth up to $88 million. Yes, you heard that right, $88 million. Today, we're diving deep into its incredible history and value, so let's get started. Let's rewind the clock to 1996. At the time, the US Mint was churning out millions of pennies, as it always does. But among those millions, some were created with a fascinating little quirk that would later make them some of the most sought-after coins in numismatic history. Most of the 1996 pennies were standard copper-plated zinc, with a face value of just 1 cent. But there was a rare mistake, a mistake that would change the value of these coins forever. You see, due to a problem at the US Mint, a small batch of 1996 pennies were accidentally struck with an error, a unique minting issue that made them one of the rarest coins to ever be produced in the US. These rare 1996 pennies were accidentally made using the wrong metal, pure copper. Instead of the usual zinc and copper mix, these pennies were struck from the same metal that was used in earlier coins before 1982. But why does that matter? Well, pennies struck from pure copper have a significant historical value, because pure copper was phased out in 1982 due to rising copper prices. After that, pennies were made from mostly zinc, with just a thin copper coating. But when these pure copper pennies from 1996 slipped through the cracks, they became a treasure that few knew about. Now, you might be wondering, how does a mistake like this lead to a coin worth millions? Well, here's the deal. These pennies are extremely rare. In fact, some estimates suggest that fewer than 10 of these pure copper 1996 pennies exist today. That's right, fewer than 10. And because of their rarity, these era pennies have skyrocketed in value. A normal 1996 penny? It's worth 1 cent. But a pure copper era penny? Well, in 2015, one of these pennies was sold for a whopping $88 million at an auction, breaking records and making history. That's right. $88 million. That's more than most homes, cars, and even some entire companies. So, if you happen to have one of these elusive era pennies tucked away in your collection, you might be sitting on a fortune. But here's the catch, finding a 1996 pure copper penny isn't easy. If you have one of these coins, it could be worth a fortune, but you need to know how to identify it and, of course, verify it. To spot one of these rare pennies, you'll need to carefully inspect the weight and feel. A 1996 copper penny will weigh slightly more than a regular penny. It will also have a distinct shine and color, unlike the modern zinc pennies. Once you think you've got a rare penny, the next step is to get it professionally graded by a numismatic expert. A certified grading service like the Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation will authenticate the penny and help determine its value. Now, here's the big question, why is this era penny so valuable? Well, the answer lies in rarity and historical significance. Collectors around the world are constantly searching for rare coins like this, ones with minting errors, unique features, or simply those that carry a fascinating backstory. And with only a handful of these 1996 copper pennies out there, they've become an incredibly valuable piece of history. But it doesn't stop there. Coins like the 1996 copper penny are more than just valuable, they are part of the broader world of numismatics, which is the study of coins, currency, and their history. For coin collectors, finding a rare penny like this is like uncovering a hidden gem. It's not just about the money, but about owning a piece of history. Many collectors and investors spend years, even decades, hunting for rare coins that could make them a fortune. And this isn't just about one person owning one rare coin, there's an entire market out there for era coins and historic pennies that are worth hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions, of dollars. The fact that these pennies exist in such limited numbers only increases their demand, making them highly sought after by serious collectors worldwide. At the same time, it's important to remember that not every 1996 penny is worth millions. In fact, the vast majority of them are worth, well, exactly 1 cent. So, if you think you've found a rare penny, don't get too excited right away. It takes a careful examination and, most importantly, expert authentication to determine whether your coin is part of this rare batch or just an ordinary penny. And while the idea of finding a fortune in your pocket might seem like a dream, there are plenty of other coins out there with similarly incredible values, coins that have been mistruck, coins that were part of limited runs, or even coins from different time periods that are no longer in circulation. So, the next time you find a penny in your pocket, don't just toss it aside. You might have a hidden treasure worth millions. If you've ever come across a rare coin or you're wondering if your change could be worth a fortune, let us know in the comments below, we'd love to hear about it. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and ring that bell for more amazing coin discoveries and history lessons. Who knows, the next $1 million treasure might be sitting in your pocket. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your pockets always be filled with rare coins.